I know he's alive. You saved him. Hey, just like your mom saved you when she put you in that pod. She knew you were gonna be okay. She knew you were gonna live. Mon-El is alive because of you. I saved him. Yeah. Alex. Go get her.
You're not going anywhere.
Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on Supergirl Season 3, and today we'll be reviewing Episode 2. So before this video starts, guys, on the 28th of October, we're going to be doing the 4-channel livestream again, so thank you for all the response on the first livestream that we all did together. That's with Paigey, Boba Talks, Eric's Reloaded, and myself. So you guys decided that we're going to do it on my channel this month. It's going to be on the 28th of October, and that is obviously a Saturday, and it's going to be at 8 PM GMT, so be sure to subscribe to my channel, but also subscribe to them if you want to be updated on any new news, because they'll be announcing it on their channels very soon. But yeah, guys, 28th of October, 8 PM UK time, we're going to be doing the live stream here on my channel. So yeah, so overall, this episode was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed the villain, Sai. I thought it was a big step up from last week. I thought Bloodsport was the only negative in last week's episode, and I thought all the characters' stories were intertwined very well this week as well as last week. I think they're doing a very good job of weaving all these character stories together, and there was a lot of progression in this episode with Cara's character coming to the realization that she has to move on and she needs this human part of herself. And also Samantha was a standout for me during this episode. I really enjoyed Odette Annabelle's performance. So first off, the effects and the quality of the overall episode. So the effects were great and probably better than normal in the most part, especially with that VR type situation we will go into more depth later. When Cara was living out her worst fear, and we were in it in the first person, so we were like we were the person in the pod, and in fact it was so realistic due to that fact, and the effects of Krypton exploding around was just magical. I really liked the effects there, and it's a very big step up for the Supergirl TV show. So the opening montage also had some really nice colors within the lighting, definitely especially on Maggie and Alex, as it mirrored how happy they seemed, and Cara's lighting was a bit darker, which sort of mirrored her mind that she's not as dark as in episode 1, but she's getting there. It's becoming a bit brighter. So the parallel with Cara finding Mon-El's copy of Romeo and Juliet and underlining a bit and saying it's Cara, so we're supposing he finished that, so that was a really nice touch. So the overall tone of the episode was definitely more uplifting than last episode, as last episode there was a lot of influence from film noir and it was very dark, and in this episode we saw Cara's progression, and most of the episode was really nicely cut together, and from a TV making standpoint, a very good episode. So moving on to plot and character, so we're going to be going through some of the main plot points during this episode, and I will be talking about that. So the parallel narrative at the start, so that was a montage between Cara and then Alex and Maggie, so we saw the parallels of Maggie and Alex of how happy they are together, and obviously we saw the seeping sunlight, and that was really good. And the part with Cara in was obviously a lot more uplifting. It had some really nice music that was very up tempo, and it was generally a lot lighter than last episode, and the use of the parallel narrative of both of them popping up around the same time, just one after the other, definitely establishes what their mindset is like. So moving on to the next point, Samantha and Ruby. They shined heavily during this episode. So their plot was that Ruby actually still thinks that her mum has superpowers, and obviously Samantha's not too bothered by the fact that she did it. She thought it was just a one-off, and it does seem like it's a one-off, but we're going to talk about that more later. But Samantha at the end finally meets Cara and everyone, so that's the first time she's been on screen apart from the first episode with Alex obviously bumping into her. So I thought Ruby was actually very good in this episode. I really felt for her, and also I felt for Samantha. So we're definitely meant to really like them because we know she's going to become Rain, and we're going to feel really sad for Ruby because her mum's Krypton's going to become this super villain. So I'm really interested in their storyline, and I can't wait as their storyline progresses. So obviously Samantha has been experiencing nightmares and obviously power surges, but that's only happened once, so she is not like that always, and that is experienced during the end scene, so I will talk a bit more about that later. So Lena was a lot better in this episode, and I really like the dynamic between Cara and herself, and with her being her new boss, because before they were just friends, now they're friends and she's the boss. And I'm totally down for James being in the middle of it, and I thought it was a really good move by the Supergirl TV show to intertwine their storylines more together. So we are introduced in this episode to a villain named Psy, a psychic. She is able to manipulate people by tapping into their worst fears, so she made Cara supposedly relive her leaving Krypton, and that's supposedly her worst nightmare, we are led to believe most of the episode. And we get to see Erica Durance's Allura again saying goodbye to Cara, but it turns out, because we are seeing it in the first person, we don't know who's inside the pod. Her worst fear is that Mon-El is the one in the pod, and that he's been experiencing this, and that she actually in turn killed Mon-El by sending him into space. We get to see a death scene of Mon-El, and that's a really powerful scene, and he is killed by going into an asteroid field, so a load of asteroids hit his pod and he is the one to die. But really, this is all in Cara's mind. This is Psy manipulating her, and Cara's realization and her acting, Melissa Benoist, during this episode was amazing, especially this scene. It showed raw emotion, and it was definitely one of the best scenes. It just showed how passionate she is. So Cara beginning to open up and tell Win about what's happening, and she actually experiences a panic attack later on as she is claustrophobic. This is most likely due to the fact that she was in a tiny pod for so long, which you can totally understand, and she's in a bit of denial for a lot of the episode with that. But she's not able to conquer her fear of claustrophobia, she's able to conquer her mind being manipulated. So I love Cara and Alex having more scenes, so we get more Danvers sister scenes, and Cara admits to Alex that she feels really weak, and her breaking down into tears is just a really good act by Melissa Benoist. And I've got to say, I'm really loving these Danvers sister scenes. We didn't get much in season 2, and I'm so happy we're going back to them, because those two are the best. So Alex giving Cara hope was great, and she was in turn the one to make Cara stand up and fight back, and in turn defeat Psy with this amazing build up of raw emotions, and the music building up alongside it. The Supergirl theme made it even better, and I thought it was a really powerful scene from a visual standpoint, a music standpoint, and an emotional standpoint. So I thought it was an overall really great scene. As you will see later in my top 5, it's definitely on there. So Psy versus Supergirl was amazing. I loved especially the final fight, like I just said, and how Psy thinks fear cripples people, and she thinks it's the only weapon that matters, but Cara actually proves her wrong, and that it is mind over matter. And again, this proves a really good message. I did like the CGI for Psy, but my only problem with Psy is that she kept on doing the exact same move. She didn't do anything else. I think if they tried to vary that up a bit, I think it would have been a bit better. But their fight was really good, and how Supergirl stepped up to her, because the whole time she had been fearing Psy, and now she's able to block these attacks, and that she's not afraid of her taking control of her. So moving on to the rain scene again. So at the end, she tries to use her powers, and it doesn't work. And this is a great example of what she's going to be like going further into the season, because she doesn't know she's actually Rain, and she was genetically modified and created on Krypton. She thinks she's from Earth, and that's why she's not too surprised that obviously her powers don't work. But we know, the fans, we know that she's actually going to turn into Rain. So I thought it was a really good scene to kind of tease the fact that she, in her mind, is starting to change into Rain, and she might experience those powers soon again. So Cara and Alex watching The Wizard of Oz at the end is my new favourite thing. I thought that was really funny. Obviously we've had mentions in the past that Cara's favourite show when she was a kid was The Wizard of Oz, so I liked how Alex was comforting her by watching The Wizard of Oz with her. I thought that was a really good scene. So my last point, the ending teases next episode, so in my trailer breakdown we'll talk more about this, and John and Cara are going to go to Mars, so we're going to see Mars for the first time in third person, obviously following our favourite characters around. So only 2 of them are going to be in it, and we're going to meet John's dad, so apparently he's alive. So yeah, moving into the top 5 of the episode in my opinion. Number 5, Samantha and Ruby. I really enjoyed them. I thought their storyline was really good, and I can't wait to see where they go later in the season. And number 4, the opening montage was really well cut together. The use of colours, the use of light, the use of the cameras was just overall a really amazing scene, and I thought it had a lot of emotion within it. And number 3, Cara opening up to Alex, I thought again was great acting and was an overall empowering scene that gave Cara some more hope, because she knows she has someone to go to and that being human is important to her. So number 2, Alex giving Cara hope. So that's obviously sort of linked to my last point, but this is the scene where she's just been knocked back by Sai, and obviously she's dreaming, she thinks she's killed Mon-El, and I thought that was really epic how she told her to get up to go finish Sai off because she is stronger than giving into her worst fears. So number 1, of course, the Mon-El death scene and Cara experiencing her greatest fears, and us realizing that the first person that we were looking at was actually Mon-El and it wasn't actually Cara, because the whole time we thought it was Cara and it was actually Mon-El. So that was a really good twist, and I thought the CGI was epic on this part. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy my review. I'll be uploading my Supergirl trailer breakdown later today, and also guys, remember October 28th at 8 PM UK time, which is a Saturday, we'll be doing the 4-channel live stream crossover on my channel, so subscribe if you're new if you don't want to miss that live stream between Paigey, Boba Talks, Eric's Reloaded and myself. So anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
It doesn't make us strong, it doesn't make us weak. Tongue tied to service like Shari.